the opportunity transformation has come. And obviously, I say today, I think we can take the context that we're referring to our life, meaning this life, that we need to spend our life wisely to transform ourselves. So the Buddha works for the sake of one great cause. He constantly awaits his disciples' capacities. And obviously here, the disciple capacity is to make sure that they can entrust the Dharma down to the disciples. Otherwise, we won't be here today to listen to the Lotus Sutra. Now a chance has come that addresses this loving intent, which is that of great compassion to liberate all sentient beings. Though the son did not recognize his father, the father nevertheless recognized the son. This fulfilled his wishes, so he was joyous. The son did not recognize the father, obviously that represents the delusion, not being having that penetrative mind to recognize the wealth of the father. And obviously the father, having the supreme wisdom, is able to recognize that. Master's explanation, the Buddha delivered the Dharma to transform us. We hope that that we take on great aspiration to carry on the Dharma lineage, passing on the Dharma. So when I guess that all of us, when we read this or hear this teaching, you're also wondering about how Master is going to pass on the Dharma to the disciples in very much the same way. So despite the unenlightened minds, there are some who gradually drawn towards the Buddha Dharma. Now the chance has come, and in very much the same way, also referring to us. So they had capabilities, causes, and conditions to get closer. And that was referring to the great disciples. The father could recognize the son and his capabilities as he drawn closer to and awakened to the Dharma. And that's what the condition, that how he returned back. And the question is how to activate that condition to be able to, for the great disciples to take on the challenge, to learn the great Dharma vehicle. But then Master went on to say, so nowadays, they're mostly referring to the present state that we are in the world. People are filled with these discursive thoughts and find it hard to realize the principles, and because so many things that cross our mind, are more so for us as householders. So abiding the Dharma, relieves suffering, bringing peace and stability to the world. But this is how the Buddha Dharma can save the world, and this is what about liberating us from this world and this world in samsara. So in passing down the lineage, I've been searching for disciples with great capabilities to teach and transform life after life. But the problem is that life is very short, I must say. And I added this to say that the spiritual journey is very long, with kalpas ahead of us. So therefore, we need to seize every moment to practice the best we can, so that whatever we practice go to the level of a higher consciousness and do not regress. The question is, practice until the Dharma seal is in your heart. So the lessons learned. The Buddha had waited for those with great capabilities for the causes and conditions to mature, and the time has come. So very joyous that the 4 disciples had attained realization, and they were developing great compassion and realized a great bodhi. And so when the great capabilities arises, then the Buddha can entrust the Dharma upon them. The Buddha had said not to teach the sutra for those whose capabilities have not matured. And the reason, obviously, when it's not fully matured, they're worried that the Dharma could be, they may disparage the Dharma or teach wrongly, and ban people, and that they have very adverse repetitive karma. Having found the disciples with great capabilities, the Dharma can be entrusted to propagate it. And for this, we must form bodhisattva aspiration and never retreat from them. Never retreating from them, meaning you have already attained perfect knowledge. And therefore, when you have perfect knowledge, you're non-retreating, and you're a path of no more learning. So in our understanding this contemplation, that worldly knowledge is confined to the mental capacity and capability. And this is especially so in our life that we have been educated right through, and we have been taught to develop our intelligence, and we are taught from day one to compete. So that's when this one knowledge is confined to mental capacity and capability. Those who don't have will tend to be ignored. So one can know the words in the Dharma, such as the truth of suffering, but does one understand? So even when we have, when you listen to Dharma, and your intelligence may not necessarily work in your favor when you have understood too much of what you already know and possessing your own self-views. So when one can know the words in the Dharma, such as the truth of suffering, but does one understand it? Understanding is not about knowing the words, but the meaning of those words. Realizing it's not about understanding the meaning of the words, but the profound meaning in between and behind the words. So it's about knowing. Second is understanding. That's all about mental capacity. And realizing is already beyond the mind. It's about a higher consciousness. So practice, the next one is practice with realization, is to evolve with the profundity of the meanings, realize, growing in wisdom of what is not said, which is the silence. So on relationships, experience in a relationship. Obviously, all relationship that we have, for us to grow in experiential learning, whether it's from your spouse, your children, your parents, your relatives, your friends, your colleagues, or your acquaintances. We all experiences, but each one, as Master said, each person is a sutra. So we need to experience to learn. Experience in life, therefore, is a series of wisdom learning. Learning from seeing and hearing out with the capacity and the capability of the mind. So therefore, even, and Master said, each person the sutra, is it from the words that one speaks, or is it from understanding your own self and how you interact with people and how your mind works? What is thought in the mind can be easily forgotten because the mind is impermanent. As I said earlier, how do we get that? The Dharma seal in our heart. When the teaching is well learned through your experience, the wisdom will blossom in the consciousness and then seal in your heart. So you need to go elevate yourself beyond your mundane consciousness. Okay, Kanan brothers and sisters, thank you.
Marvelous sharing, Brother Yun Kyung. Thank you so much.
What's the Chinese name again, brother?